was a trained pianist, and he studied violin when he was a kid, so he had these two other major instruments under his belt. And then he noticed that I had scored an arrangement for something on The Man Who Sold the World. So Mick was like looking over my shoulder and he said, "Can you teach me how you score?" Because he could read and write music, but he didn't know the rules of scoring music. When you write for a bunch of musicians, you know, you have to write all the parts underneath each other, and they have to all line up visually, and then you have to take it off the score paper and write out the individual parts. That I showed him how to do.
I watched him working with Tony Visconti one night. And I said, "You want to write the parts, don't you?" And he said, "Yes." And I said, "Well, there's no shows, there's no gigs for a while. Why don't you go study music at home? Then you'll never, ever have to watch someone else write the parts for you, because you have symphonies and orchestras in your mind." And he was like, 2 weeks later, he was gone. And Mick came back, and he could orchestrate anything, write parts for anything, and he wasn't gone a year.
I'd heard the rumours that he was way more involved in Man Who Sold the World than David was.
We passed upon the steps. We spoke of what and when.
In the recording studio when we were making The Man Who Sold the World, Mick was also looking over my shoulder all the time and asking me why I did certain things, and he'd be interested in the differences or all the choices you had. You could have the settings this way or that way or that way.
He was much more than a lead guitarist, much more. And I knew he could be.
We had done The Man Who Sold the World. It was a rather obscure sounding album at the time. It sounded like nothing else. The record company didn't believe in us. So with that lack of enthusiasm, David Bowie felt that he needed to get a manager to really launch him.